Well, hello there, my loyal podcast subscribers and listeners. I gotta say, I wanted to come on here and this is an experiment. I wanted to try putting up a temporary episode. So, this is an episode for me to say, how's it going? Hello. Haven't gone anywhere just yet. But if you've been following along, you've noticed that I don't release as many podcast episodes as I used to. And it's not because I don't love my podcast. My gosh, I love my podcast. In fact, so many of you have given me such great feedback on the podcast. I know that it's offering value. So thank you so much for being here and also providing that feedback. And many of you have, discovered the podcast either through the videos I've done over on YouTube or, on Facebook. And many of you have also just found the podcast. And the thing I love about having multi-channel content is that it lets people discover you in new ways. The thing I don't love about multi-channel content is that it's extra stuff. So it is more work. And I've actually really struggled in the past with consistency because I felt like I was trying to be in all the places. And in fact, it's something I totally encourage my own clients, whether it be clients or students in my programs, not to do. And here I was feeling all this pressure as a, quote unquote social media person that I felt like I needed to be all over the place. And what was happening was exactly what I always predict for my clients and everybody else is everything's watered down. And so really about a year ago at the start of the pandemic, so literally a year ago, I was kind of feeling burnout, to be really honest with you, because I just felt like, I don't know, I just didn't really feel connected to what I was supposed to be doing and how I was supposed to be helping. And I felt like I was just trying to be too broad. And it's no secret, if you've been, studying marketing or business or anything, then you know the phrase, the riches are in the niches and you got to go deep and all these things. And I was always sort of resisting that. And I'm not going to say that I've really niched or niched, however you want to say it, but I have gotten more focused on my content. And I really just a year ago started leaning into what do I find fun? What do I find the most joy talking about? What is it that I want to be doing right now? And at the time, it was exploring more with live video. I've been going live for a long time, for years, but I really last year started having fun with the technology that was coming out for live video, with the gear, with just the accessibility of creating more professional live streams. And so that is the direction I started leaning into. And of course, I've released podcast episodes since then, but I've really, really, really been focused on creating content for live videos. And starting about November, I started going really consistently, meaning like the day of the week and the time each week. So Tuesdays at 2:00 Eastern, I looked at my calendar and I was like, what is the most consistent time that I'm typically available? And because that is something I struggled with before, is that my schedule is sort of all over the place. I mean, I'm a single parent. I am busy. I live in a part of the country where we actually have all 4 seasons. So sometimes I have more time on my hands and sometimes I don't want to be, locked into my schedule. That's the whole reason I started my own business in the first place. But I knew that I needed to do something. And so Tuesday afternoons seemed to work. And I just thought, I'm going to try this for 1 month. And it was working so well and going so well. And it fit in my calendar. So I just stuck with it. And so I've been really all in on my weekly content being my live show. And many of you that are listening to this episode have tuned into those shows, and shout out to all of you. And many of you have even joined my Facebook community where I also live stream as well, because you've heard about it maybe on this podcast. And that's really where I've been focusing the majority of my energy, is in my live video content and just serving my community and being a part of my community and fostering that community. And I will tell you, things can ebb and flow in our business. We can feel like we've got people really engaged, and then we just sometimes feel like, man, nobody's showing up, nobody's commenting on my stuff, nobody's really active in my group. And I've gone through those ebbs and flows as well. But I will tell you that just like all the experts tell us, once I started getting really consistent and once I actually honed in and started being more consistent with what I was talking about, live video and all things video and gear and all those things, I just really started to just see this major momentum. And I've talked about it before in a previous episode, but I just kind of wanted to come in here and say, thanks for still being here. But also, I haven't gone anywhere either. I've just not been as consistent with this particular podcast, but it is not something I'm giving up on. I actually had someone ask me, they said, are you going to move away from the podcast? Because I actually really enjoy listening to your episodes. I sometimes can catch your live videos, but I love listening to your episodes in the car or when I'm walking the dog or whatever. And I was like, no, but I can do a better job of taking my own advice and repurposing some of my content. And so taking my live videos, which are typically, I typically show up on Tuesdays with a couple of points. I teach something, but I also do a live Q&A that's, fairly open. And man, you guys, some of the questions that get asked while I'm on those live videos are such good questions, and they are just golden questions. And so one, I would love to invite you, if you're not already tuning in with us, I go live on YouTube and on Facebook, and of course, inside of my Facebook group, DIY Marketing with Melanie, each week right now, Tuesdays at 2:00 Eastern. But if you want to stick around and that kind of thing is not your thing, and you still just rather consume the podcast and listen to the podcast, then I just wanted to let you know that I appreciate that. And I'm going to be taking care of you too. So I'm definitely going to be repurposing some content. I actually have a few episodes lined up that I'm really excited to record, but I just wanted to come in here and actually just record a very short and sweet note to you guys to say thank you, and that I'm not going away. I just have been really laser focused over in those other platforms and with that other format, which is live video. And so I wanted to invite you over to that, but I also wanted to say that it's working. It's really working. So if you have struggled with consistency or honing in, or I would just encourage you to just pick something, and you will get to talk about other things too. I get to talk about all kinds of stuff. But the main theme and the stuff we seem to geek out on the most is definitely live video and software and the things that go around it. And I love it. And I'm having fun with it, which is, I think, the number one priority, because when you're not having fun with your content, it's going to show. And when you're not having fun, you're not going to show up for your people. And so maybe find something new to get that spark back. And maybe what will happen is you'll learn and discover a new lane for your content and how you want to show up. So I just wanted to come on really quick and share that part of my story, and just let you know that my audience is growing very quickly over on YouTube, but also the group is growing. And so I know it's working, and the engagement's great, and the quality of our conversations are great. I'm really not one to overly focus on metrics. I just like to focus on how it feels in my heart. And I'm an intuitive person, especially with people. And the pulse check on the community right now is very healthy. And so I'm really happy about that. And I just wanted to share that with you too, to give you just some encouragement that maybe that's something that you can also do as well. So, all right, my friend, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. And this is totally I think it's going to be a temporary note. So this podcast episode will self-destruct in maybe a week. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it up. I've always wanted to experiment with a temporary episode. So who knows? I don't know. Maybe it will be, maybe it won't be. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys next time. I will be talking to you very, very soon in the next episode. Ta-ta for now.